He's taken on Red Skull. He's taken on Thanos. He's led the Avengers to save mankind countless times. But tonight, in our main event at Lucha Review, Captain America steps in the ring with Mal Mascaras. Captain America, not the one you know, not the one played by Chris Evans. No. We're not talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe that's been rocking the world for the last 15 years. We're talking about a low-budget film that followed Batman, tried to follow in its footsteps, but wound up somewhere in a dark alley in the middle of Europe. There's no big budget from Disney here to save you, Captain. Stan Lee is not going to be making any special appearances or doing any run-ins. It's you and me. No Avengers, no partners, nothing. Captain America versus Mal Mascaras tonight on Lucha Review. Tag yourself in, folks, and let's take on the nerdy and dirty.
The story begins in Nazi Germany, where a young Italian boy is subject to a dangerous science experiment to create the ultimate soldier. This young boy ultimately becomes the Red Skull. Horrified over having to perform this science project on a child, the doctor flees to America, where she works on behalf of the United States Army. And the creative liberties don't stop there either, because if Red Skull doesn't have to be from Germany, then goddammit, Steve Rogers does not have to be from fucking Brooklyn. So, not only was a trip to New York City out of the budget for this particular film, but the people who were making it were not fucking creative enough to even pretend. In addition to not being from New York City, Steve Rogers suffers polio, and is carefully selected to be part of this military project. His mother has a few concerns.
Only you be a little bit more careful.
That's right, Stevie. You might shoot your eye out, too. Ah! Having said his goodbyes, Steve Rogers is off to war. His first stop, the local diner, where nobody seems to wonder or ask why military men or dudes in expensive suits with dirty looks on their faces are going into a fucking secret passageway right by the goddamn kitchen. While everybody sips their milkshakes and looks the other way, down below, a laboratory is about to perform a new and improved variation of that horrible German experiment on Steve Rogers. The operation is a resounding success, and America's first super soldier is sent off on his first mission to take out the Red Skull. P.S. The man behind the mask probably had this defeated, despondent look on his face when he first saw the final cut of this film. The encounter with Red Skull does not go as planned, and Captain America soon finds himself strapped to a missile headed straight for the White House. Later on, as the president's son wanders aimlessly around the White House grounds with zero supervision, taking pictures in the middle of the night, Captain America miraculously changes the course of the missile, and it finds its way to Alaska, where he'll be submerged in ice for several decades. Captain America's existence is meant to be top secret, but the president's son knows exactly what he saw, and his best friend believes every last word. His friend grows up to become Ned Beatty, who's the editor-in-chief of a local newspaper, while this young man follows in his father's footsteps and walks the trail in American politics. Inspired by Captain America, he eventually makes his way to the White House and becomes the President of the United States of America. And his relationship with one of his top generals is, at best, fragile. Ah! You see, this general has been in cahoots with Red Skull the entire time, which begs the question, what kind of a world do we live in where the man who built the fucking Ed 209 becomes the president and we can't trust Ralphie's dad? As Ralphie's dad betrays his country, Captain America arises from his lengthy sleep in Alaska alive and well, and once the news hits home, the president, inspired once again, calls his friend Ned Beatty to drop everything he's doing at the newspaper to go on a rescue mission because everyone in the FBI, the CIA, and every branch of the fucking military is busy. Rather than going door to door to sell children's coloring books, Ned Beatty decides the best way to find a missing person is to get in your car and drive around. He succeeds at his efforts and finds Captain America and Canada just in time to help him escape the wrath of the Power Rangers. He might not be from Brooklyn anymore, but that doesn't stop him from being an accomplished car thief. Captain America commits grand theft auto multiple times throughout the film, but only steals from people who are trying to help him. Whether he's a car thief or not, he couldn't have come back at a better time. Ralphie's dad helps the Red Skull, who is no longer red and no longer a skull, kidnap the President of the United States of America, and the bad dudes aren't coming. It'll be up to Captain America to rescue the President, and he'll need to do it by cutting through this neo-Nazi regime of underwear models and cheap suits. I remember seeing posters for this movie in theaters, but it almost didn't see the light of day. It went straight to home video, and sadly, this trend would continue for all Marvel projects throughout the 1990s. Even if I couldn't stop myself from tearing it apart, it does deserve its place in the lower end of the mid-card. Yes, it was low-res, but we could still have fun with it, maybe pop it in every 4th of July, or just use it as an example to show our kids just how good they have it, seeing as how the Marvel Universe was not always as big as it currently is. The sound of that bell means we're out of time. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time as the 30 years of summer continue on Lucha Review.